Baseball. As American as hot dogs, yakitori, and the Hiroshima Cup fight song? This is baseball in Japan. This is Samurai Baseball. Baseball was introduced to Japan by American school teachers in the 1870s. At that time, the Japanese had no homegrown team sports, but the one-on-one between pitcher and batter had tremendous appeal in the land of sumo and kendo, and the team play reflected the structure of Japanese society itself. Baseball fever spread like wildfire and burns hotter than ever today. Technically, the Japanese game is hardly any different from its American cousin. Their strike zone is a little wider, their balls are a little smaller, and their infields tend to be grassless. But both Japanese and American play by the same rule book. How those rules are interpreted is another story. The major differences between Japanese and American baseball are cultural, and these cultural differences go beyond the cuisine served in the stands. American culture celebrates individualism and initiative. Major League ball players distinguish themselves by their personal style and accomplishments. Not so their Japanese counterparts. Japanese life is structured in groups. Individuals are expected to subordinate themselves to the group and find satisfaction identifying with the crowd. An old Japanese saying goes, "The nail that sticks up must be hammered down." Baseball has become a living metaphor for the group ethic in Japanese culture. It has been called Samurai Baseball. The samurai were warriors of feudal Japan who pledged total obedience to their lord. The Bushido Code of the samurai demanded absolute loyalty, discipline, self-denial, and propriety. The same code has been applied to Japanese ball players from the beginning. Japanese players are expected to subordinate themselves to the ball club. They must conform to strict rules governing personal appearance. Hair must be short, faces clean-shaven. The team becomes their extended family. Managers are hard taskmasters who brook no dissent. They consider it their job to stifle individual style and to discipline excesses of ego. In the spirit of their martial arts ethic, they drill the players with endless practice and conditioning.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a different way of doing things. They practice hard. Here, actually, practice is as much a part of the game as the game. So, if you don't practice well, you don't play well. That's the way they feel.
Like selfless samurai, starting pitchers are often required to play entire games. This after throwing hundreds of balls in practice. It's no wonder Japanese pitchers burn out after only a few seasons. But team spirit isn't limited to the playing field. Many spectators belong to organized cheering factions called Oendan. Sitting together and armed with various noisemakers, the Oendan are whipped into a deafening roar by their elected cheerleaders. Some participants are not even interested in the game at all. They just enjoy being part of the group. These cultural differences bedevil Americans signed to play in Japan. Japanese teams are allowed to recruit up to 3 foreigners, or gaijin. American players are valued for their upper body strength, but American players are often mystified by the Japanese approach to the game.
They ended up taking away the home run and giving me a ground rule triple. And that's the first I'd ever heard of a ground rule triple.
Americans tell of power hitters pulled from the lineup and replaced by pitchers when the bases are loaded, of managers obsessed with bunting, of the infamous expanding strike zone, where umpires handicap gaijin hitters by allowing pitches wide even by Japanese standards. Winning strategies? No, and they're not meant to be. The Americans howl, "No fair." They learn the hard way that different cultures can have different concepts of fairness. Americans judge fairness in terms of rules and procedures. If the rules are fair, and everyone plays by them, and everyone has an equal chance, then the outcome must be fair. This is the concept of fair play. But the Japanese measure fairness in terms of the outcome itself. Did everyone participate? Did everyone benefit equally? Did everyone get a fair share? These are values that maintain harmony within the group. In the United States, games will go on forever just to break a tie. Americans need clear-cut winners and losers, and the bigger the spread, the better. But the Japanese set a fixed time limit on games, with the result that ties are common. Close scores are, in fact, preferred. That way, no one loses face. Even the champions of the Japan Series usually win the pennant by only a few games. Managers, umpires, and players cooperate to foster an outcome that is fair to the whole team, the league, and the sport. So while Americans may see baseball as a symbol of their national character, in Japan, it's a whole nother ballgame.